The Arizona State Sun Devils have the longest losing streak in the conference as it stands right now. Again, losses to Oregon, Oregon State, Stanford, and Cal. This is a bad basketball team. There is only one starter shooting above 30% from three. Only one, and it's Jose Perez, who, by the way, didn't play the second half.
Does not take a bunch of threes.
No, doesn't take a lot of threes and didn't play the second half on Saturday. That tells you where Arizona State basketball is right now. They've got the second fewest points per game in the conference, 68.9. 68.9 points per game. The worst field goal percentage in the conference, the worst three-point percentage in the conference, the worst free throw percentage in the conference, the worst rebounding total in the conference, the second fewest offensive rebounds in the conference. What does that say? Does it say maybe something needs to change? Well, is it the players? The players change every fucking year, right? The transfer portal, NIL. Is this the best Arizona State can do? Because that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard for the last few seasons. Every time we get to this point in the year, and I'm going to get fired up about it because it's bullshit. Every single year when we get to this point of Pac-12 play, where the Sun Devils start their skid, their yearly Sun Devil skid in conference play, what do we say? Oh, well, this is just kind of what Bobby's teams do. Can ASU do better than Bobby Hurley? Well, should you at least try?
Yes.
Should you at least try?
Especially if the rumors are true.
Shouldn't you at least try? Right? Because I'm tired of that narrative, man. I'm tired of that damn narrative that ASU can't do better than Bobby Hurley. And I'm not saying that this whole shit show that is this season is on Bobby, because it's not. It's not on Bobby all the way. Okay? There are players that play the game that aren't playing well, and they haven't played well all season. Okay? They're wasting, arguably, one of the best defensive seasons in program history with Frankie Collins, who is going to shatter the single-season steal record at Arizona State. Going to shatter it. Averaging the most steals in the conference per game. It is embarrassing to watch Arizona State basketball right now. And we have people in the chat, right, asking, oh, you guys don't do post-game shows for ASU basketball. Well, and look, part of it, again, has nothing to do with the team. But let's talk about the team. Let's talk about the post-game shows for Arizona State basketball for a second, because when the Sun Devils score 55 points in a game and they lose to double digits to Cal, to Stanford, to Oregon State, do you as a fan want to watch that? Is that something you want to talk about? The same thing again and again? If I have a reoccurring nightmare every fucking day, do I want to tell you about it every day? Do you want to listen to it every day? Or do you want to ignore it? Do you want to change it? Do you want to evolve and figure it out? Move past it, right? That's what Arizona State basketball is right now. Every single Thursday and Saturday, it's a reoccurring nightmare. The Arizona State basketball team can't score. Do you know the one thing in sports that you need to do if you want to win? You have to fucking score. And what I just tell you, they score worse than everybody else in every category. They're not good. They're not good. Part of that is the team. Part of that is the coaching. Part of that is the facilities. Part of that is Arizona State basketball, the program. Change it, or don't expect fans to give a shit. Because that's what you're saying, right? That's what you're saying as a program. If this year over year from the athletic department is, hey, this is the best we can do. Really? That's the best you can do? The best you can do is the worst at everything? That's what you're telling me, right? That's what you're saying. And JJ is, like I said, JJ is a diehard ASU basketball fan. Diehard. In here every day talking ASU hoops, right? It's crazy to me. And it's crazy to me because, like I said, he's following, and everybody here that's an ASU fan is following a program that, as it stands right now, doesn't really care about the product. They don't. it looks like a team that's given up on itself. And at the start of the season, what was it? It was a team that didn't even know how to be a team. So here you are, February 5th, 2024. This team's on a 4-game losing streak. Like I said, you will have the worst field goal percentage, the worst three-point percentage, and the worst free throw percentage of anybody else in this conference. Well, is it time to move on from Bobby Hurley? Is it over? Is it done? Is the Hurley era over in Tempe? Should it be? Can we put that poll in the chat? I know we've done it on a post-game show before, but let's go ahead and add that poll to this chat. Do you guys think Bobby Hurley should be fired? Yes or no? 1 year into a new extension, making him realistically the coach that will lead Arizona State into the Big 12, the basketball conference, mind you, that currently, without the addition of Arizona, Colorado, and Utah, already has 5 teams in the AP top 25. Houston, Arizona, that's going to be in there, and Kansas, all in the top 10. And you're telling me this team at DFA that two of the last three seasons has averaged the 11th fewest, right? They sit 11th in Pac-12 points per game. They did it. They're doing it this year, and they did it the year before last, 11th. Not great, man. Not great. And I know there are rumors that we've already talked about on this show that potentially Arkansas's must-bus would consider coming to Arizona State, already putting out feelers to potentially be a Sun Devil coach. Tell me, is that worse or better? Would you rather have Muss? Would you rather have Hurley? I think there are pros and cons. You know already what you're getting with Bobby. I know there's people that are diehard ASU fans that sit and they love to talk about what would have happened in the 2020 season. And we're 2024, man. We're almost a half decade past 2020. It's time to stop talking about what would have, could have, should have happened years ago. You live now. The Pac-12's over after this year. This is how you're going out. You're going out as a laughingstock. How do you go into the Big 12? Do you continue that? Are you the running joke? Are you a comedian traveling from Texas City to Texas City to get your ass kicked time and again on the hardwood? Are you? Or are you going to try something new offensively? Try something new. Okay? Tighten the leash. Something has to change at Arizona State for this basketball program to be good. Whether it's the system, whether it's the caliber player, whether it's the NIL, whether it's the facilities, whether it's the athletic director, whether it's the coach. I don't care. Right now, it seems like they're all one stinky-ass ingredient into the world's shittiest meal. You've got to figure it out. Something has to change. You got to figure it out. JJ in the chat, can you fire a head coach without an AD? Well, in theory, Michael Crow can make that decision.
You can hire one and then fire AD.
Michael Crow can make that decision. Absolutely. The interim athletic director can make that decision with approval. Will they? I don't think so.
Sharon makes a good point. Like, you can't question whether Bobby Hurley cares about
No, absolutely not. And that's not what I'm doing.
No, and that's the thing. Like, you so badly want this to work.
Yeah.
But we're at 8 seasons now. Like, what do we have to show for it? How long can you wait?
That's what it is. I actually had a conversation with my little brother this morning. Called me on my way to work. It was like, oh, is there something with ASU basketball today? Like, is there a game? I'm like, no. We don't even really talk ASU basketball a whole lot. He's like, oh, why? Like, they're bad. They're really bad. He's like, what's up with it? He's like, do you think they're going to make a coaching change? I'm like, well, as it stands right now, I think they should. And I have been really, really conscious to not go out and say that I think Bobby Hurley should be let go as the coach for Arizona State, because we've had Bobby on the show. Bobby's a great person.
This poll might surprise you.
Bobby's a great person, right? I think when it comes time to the product, if you're an ASU fan and this is what you want year over year, if you truly believe that Bobby is the guy for this program, I have one question. What makes you think that? And that's like genuinely, what have you seen that makes you believe that Bobby Hurley can carry Arizona State into the Big 12 and they can compete at Desert Financial Arena with Arizona, Kansas, Houston, Kansas State, Baylor, Texas Tech? What makes you believe it? Couple first four appearances? Really? That's why you're there? That's why you're on the Bobby train? I think Bobby is a passionate coach. I think there is a handful of coaches in college basketball, maybe college athletics, with the passion and the fire that Bobby Hurley has. And that is, you've seen it, that alone can spark Hurley's teams to play well, to get arenas to go nuts for what they see. But at a certain point, passion and fire is not enough. What's the result of that poll, Jacob?
15 votes. 53% say no.
That it's not time to fire Hurley.
Correct. However,
I wonder how many Arizona fans...
I was going to say, there are quite a few Arizona fans who are probably voting in favor of this because, they like seeing us suffer.
Yeah. Very interesting. BCat in the chat, Bobby is not the number one problem, maybe number 3 on the list. My question to you as a Wildcat fan, which I know you are, what would problem 1 and 2 be? Short bus in the chat.
Facilities.
Yeah, I don't think that's one.
No, but I would imagine that he's putting facilities in the president above
potentially
Bobby.
Potentially. Short bus, tired of the, quote, build a team through the transfer portal and hope they click story. Yeah, we've seen it. And part of that is NIL, which, again, goes back to facilities. It's the entire Arizona State basketball program is a mess right now. It is a mess. You need to fix it. And BCat saying correct to your point about facilities and Crow being 1 and 2. Well, last I checked, Michael Crow doesn't coach the basketball team. He's not there during practices. He's not there recruiting players. He's not there installing the offensive system. He's not there getting texts on the hardwood. So maybe as Arizona State athletics goes, you can argue Crow is an issue.
No, if he lands Koa Pete, do you change your mind?
Do I change my mind?
If he lands Koa Pete, like Lou Dort was a guy, right?
Yeah.
Like Lou Dort was a really highly thought of guy. Koa Pete is that guy.
He is. But this is again, my question to that would be, what is the most you get at him? Because out of Lou Dort was a dog. Out of the guys at ASU...
Lou Dort was the best defensive player I watched.
And where did Arizona State go?
Yeah, it's a great point.
So you can have these great players.
I was there when they stormed the court against Kansas, but regular season moments out of conference, they're fun, but they don't, like, at the end of the day, how far did you go?
You have to win. You have to win. And this program has not really ever won. They've never won the Pac-12 tournament. Mind you, this is the last Pac-12 tournament you're going to get. They haven't won it. And by all accounts, this year doesn't look like it's the year of firsts for the Sun Devils. If you land Koa Pete, can you ask yourself a realistic question of where do we go? Does Koa Pete by himself take us to the Sweet 16? Because Bobby hasn't done it. And again, I am not trying to say that Bobby is a bad basketball coach. That is not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is right now, it's not working. It's not working, and it hasn't worked for a while, okay? Think of it like a relationship, right? You've got the ASU basketball program and Bobby Hurley. They're two separate entities. It was fun when it first started. It was new, okay? There was excitement. The offense was moving. They were 1 through 4 in points per game for the first how many years? At a certain point, you're talking about a team that was almost number 1 in the nation, the last undefeated team in Division I basketball. The relationship was clicking. It was fireworks. This is the person that you're going to get married to. This is the coach that you're going to have for 25 to 30 years. then it kind of falls apart. It's not working anymore. The same shit. Doesn't hit the same. You're getting out-coached. You're getting outplayed. You're getting out-recruited. You're getting outperformed. And maybe it's time for these two great separate things to go their separate ways and try and be great in different ways. Because right now, it's not working. Koa Pete, if he comes, regardless, I think it might be time to make a change. But the chat has spoken, so we will leave ASU basketball on that